Hey, what's up everyone? My name is Brandon Hart, and today I'm going to show you exactly how I would dial in a Polyphia guitar tone with Bias Effects 2. So first things first, before the amp, I bring in a compressor, and the purpose of this is to bring out a little bit more of the pick attack. It has this really mushy kind of vibe that I really like to put before the guitar amp, especially having control over the attack and the sustain within this compressor is really beneficial to be able to bring across that classic Tim Henson vibe. So I have the blend at a 100%, I have the attack around 7.2. I actually brought the volume up quite a bit. Pushing the volume this much is not something that I would typically do. The reason I did it with this specific compressor is because it pushes a little bit more volume into the guitar head. And I also pushed the tone to 100%. Again, this is not something that I would usually do. Farther along in this chain, I'll show you exactly how I kind of rein in the tone a little bit more just to be able to fit this within the context of a mix. And then I brought the sustain up to about 6.8. This sustain knob is where the magic happens, in my opinion. And the next step for this tone is the vintage overdrive. And the purpose behind this overdrive is to ensure that all of the transients that I brought out with the compressor, they're being more compartmentalized so that it's a little bit more consistent within the context of the mix. So I pushed the distortion to a little bit around 2, and the key with pushing this is I usually push distortion to where I start hearing a difference, and that's where I stop. I don't go any farther from that. I also don't want to mangle the audio going into the guitar amp. So that's a really great way of implementing an overdrive into your guitar tone before the amp. And the next part of this chain is an EQ. A really great way of taking complete control of your tone is to be able to shape the EQ a little bit more before hitting the amp. The first thing that I made sure of is to ensure the left channel and the right channel were synced. This is going to ensure that there's going to be no differentiation between the left and right channel. Boosted a little bit of 90 Hertz, and then I boosted a little bit of 3K to accentuate the pick attack, but I also cut a little bit of 4K to cut back on some of the harshness. And I used the Match DC head because I love the simplicity of it. So I pulled back the volume a little bit just to ensure that there was a solid balance between the previous 3 parts of the chain and the guitar amp. And I found that pulling this back brought a little bit more definition into my playing. And then I boosted the bass. The bass knob generally acts as a high pass. The thing with this amp, the treble sounds like a balance between presence, treble, and a little bit of higher mid, and it does it in a way to where it really evens things out, but it also brings out the best in your playing. And then I boosted the cut all the way to 8, and this acts as a low pass. And then I used the Match 2x12 in its default state for this guitar tone. And one of the things that I did in preparation for building out this tone is watching a good bit of videos from Tim Henson. You can learn a lot just by how he articulates the way that he thinks about building guitar tones. Sometimes he just doesn't care. He has the mentality, if it sounds good, it is good. And that's something that I really tried to bring across in this guitar tone. This isn't exactly cookie cutter guitar tone building, but it is a really powerful way to shape the tone into what's most desirable for you. So the next stage that I really love to implement is the Echo Rex. I'm assuming this is a version of the Echoplex, which is a famous outboard delay. And with this part of the chain, I kept it as default state. I changed it to BPM, and I changed the speed to a half note. And the final stage is a Hall reverb. With this reverb, I really like the Hall medium setting. It has this really nice flow and also widens the guitar.